I'm Michael Bain and welcome to Triggered, coming to you this week from the NRA Whittington Center in Raton, New Mexico, one of the most beautiful places to shoot in the entire world. Can't say much for the food in Raton, but what are you going to do? I'm here this week for the Lucid Optics Ballistic Summit. If you recall, several years back, Jason Wilson, head of Lucid Optics, said, why don't we get a bunch of people together, media people, people doing interesting things in the industry, and let them have a chance to work back and forth and, hey, see what works, what doesn't, and put a lot of rounds down range. And that's what we're here to do today. So come on, let's go next door. Jason, what's the advantage of an event like this for Lucid?
It's the general exposure to the brand. The media gets to see it and get their hands on it. But the networking in the industry is probably the most important benefit of this type of an event for us.
There's always a lot of shooting at the Whittington Center, beginning with Jason Wilson's personal 6.5 Creedmoor Savage, a box stock gun at 650 yards. Good way to start. Was that
I heard it hit.
That's an impact.
Yeah.
That was impact?
I heard it hit.
That's a sweetheart. If you've been following us for a while, you're familiar with the gunsmithing duo of Diane and Merissa Bishop. They have built some spectacular custom heavy caliber guns, boomers, 375 Bishop Short Magnum, 475 Bishop Short Magnum, and let's not forget 458 SOCOM Marlin lever action rifle. And here, we're gonna make some noise with the big boys. This is Ace Luciano with the 475 Bishop Magnum looking for targets.
Oh, I see them down there. They are small.
Okay, Ace, what did it hit you like?
Surprisingly, I've shot a lot of big game rifles, all the way up to a 505 Gibbs, which I truly do not enjoy shooting, right? I've shot it quite a bit. I don't like shooting it. Shooting that gun, which I thought was going to be somewhere between a 375 and a 416-ish, it was more like shooting my 12 gauge and not even a goose load, like a regular 12 gauge shotgun. I was shocked at the lack of recoil from that massive Magnum, 475 short mag. That thing will pack a wall up on whatever you want to shoot it with.
This week's Triggered is brought to you by Arms Corps Rock Island Armory. What's your passion? Rossi. The legend continues. Stoger, Everyday Tough. Hunters HD Gold, they change so you don't have to. MTM Case Guard, quality shooting sports accessories. And Ed Brown, the best money can buy for over 50 years. Welcome back to Triggered. We're in Raton, New Mexico. Let's get back to the range. The big boomers get all the attention, but what really interested me is this gun. It is the third generation of the Bishop 458 SOCOM bolt gun. I have iteration number 1, gun number 1, but this has changed a lot. Instead of a Remington 700 action, it's got a custom pristine action from Canada, designed by the Bishops. It's also got an Elfman trigger, and they've been constantly working on their really good muzzle brake. These are fun rifles to shoot. Merissa also developed the third generation of the 458 SOCOM magazine for these rifles. It's a hard thing to do to make a stubby round like 458 fit in an AI magazine, but by the third generation, Merissa has it running flawlessly. Oh, baby. There you go. Most of our ammunition was provided by a new ammunition company from Wyoming, homeboys, Opal Ammunition, and this stuff is really good. So, why the ammunition business?
Well, I've always loved to shoot, and my brother did all the loading in the family, reloading. So we went, he moved to this little town of Opal, Wyoming, and he sent some pictures of this old mercantile building that was kind of falling down. And out of the blue, I just said, that'd be a great place to build an ammo plant. He said, well, some guy in Colorado owns it, and he's just letting it fall apart. He doesn't want to do anything with it. Well, it came up on a tax lien sale a couple years later. My brother calls me, he says, the guy wants to sell it. He's trying to sell it to the town for $2,500. The town doesn't have the money to buy it. You should call the guy. So I called up the guy and worked out a deal. I ended up getting it for $3,300. Still a bargain at any price. 9,000 square feet of commercial space anywhere is for $3,300.
Where is this town? There'll be more people moving in at this price, right?
It's in the southwest corner of Wyoming, a little town. It's only 64 people there. So we're outside of Kemmer, which is the birthplace of J.C. Penney. It's about 13 miles from us. So we bought the building. We spent a couple of years renovating it. It was in really bad shape. New roof, new plumbing, new electrical. We got everything fixed on it, got it. They had blighted the building. The people really didn't want me to bring it back to life, but I brought it back anyways. They had blighted the building, hoping that I'd just walk away, but it was one of 6 buildings in Wyoming that was brought out of blight in like the last 10 years. So, but it's a really neat old mercantile building from 1929. So now we're building our second building next to it. We're expanding, we're growing so much. But we've been going full on since 2018. So.
How many calibers are you loading now?
We're up to 18 calibers. So we got about 12 pistol calibers and 6 rifle calibers that we're loading now. So all the common ones and a couple of not so common calibers there. But we find something that works and we can get tooled up for it and get all the components at a reasonable price. Hey, we'll try to load anything. So.
Okay, kids, that's the Lucid Optics Summit for this year. Lots of interesting things. The industry is always changing, always morphing around. So it's good to have a chance to sit down with people who are doing things, doing interesting things and saying, hey, what do you think about this? And by the way, any new ammo manufacturer is a very good thing. I'm Michael Bain. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on X. But definitely find us, and we'll see you next week. This is the Exodus, which is 9mm pistol caliber carbine, and it looks cool. Doesn't it look cool?
It looks fantastic.
Cool is what counts.
And the feel on these grips, you can't beat.